Hello, welcome to PipeCast. Here we are in our May edition, I believe. Um, just as full transparency of it all, this is our sort of wrap up. This is sort of the end of season 3. There will be never fear, there will be a 4th of July little summer get together type episode, which will really end season 3. But this is sort of just a wrap up, the reflecting on it, and um, yeah. So, before we get too far into it, I would want to say that, um, you know, it's a weird thing. I felt like season 3 has definitely been a lot of fun. and, but I feel like leading into it, there was a lot of pressure because, I'm speaking for myself, not Zach, but there was a lot of, so season 1, we went in, we hit a lot back to back to back. We did like, I think we did it weekly for 4 episodes, and then we went to bi-weekly, and then we did the bracketology, all the episodes within 2 weeks of each other. So we did a lot in a short period of time. And then season 2 was a bust, and that was sort of depressing. And not trying to think that, I don't know, think that we're all that in a bag of chips, but you know for the people who have been following with us, after we did 3 episodes of season 2, I was like, we can't keep dragging these people along, you know, just teasing them.
We did have a couple
And
of questions about it too. Yeah.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm not saying that we're the biggest thing on the internet, but we had some people, uh, reach out to us and we're like, hey, when y'all gonna be coming back? I remember being in the airport in Saigon reading because I finally got Wi-Fi when I got into the airport, and somebody had sent the message to Instagram, was like, "Hey, when y'all gonna come back?" And stupid me was like, "Yeah, we'll be back in a month," and then we didn't get back until August. But I say all that to say, season 3, I think, was definitely a success because we put out a good bit of content over a long period of time. Plus, we finally went into YouTube, and I think we've uh, had a pretty good success with those videos, or I like the videos. So
Yeah, I think that the filler stuff ended up being good. It's funny, and you could disagree, it's fine, but like I was kind of pushing the YouTube thing, and Patrick was a little cautious about it. I think he ended up taking it and making it better and running with it, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, whoa, slow down. But it ended up being better because it was kind of like an idea. It's like, well, maybe if we could get involved with the YTPC, it might be fun. And then next thing I know, uh, Patrick's got some editing software he's looking into and all this other stuff. And I think that those episodes probably wouldn't have come out as well as they did if Patrick wasn't involved.
wow, well, I don't want to say that. I will say that they've been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed them a lot, and I can't wait to do more um, after our little summer hiatus.
Well, I
So
mean, like it gives you a lot of opportunity to really narrow down just tobacco.
yes, yeah, yeah, because I think that is one thing as we've gone along. You know, it was always the intent that it was not going to be just tobacco. There was going to be some tobacco talk because that's what we're here for. But then we was going to try to dive into more pop culture things, um, and though we still do that, filler was an outlet to where you could just get to business. It's tobacco. It's not even pipes. It's tobacco, and
Yeah, because I don't think we've ever mentioned. We mentioned occasionally what we're smoking it in. I think maybe.
yeah,
Ultimately, it doesn't matter what we're smoking, and we're trying to focus exclusively on the tobacco. I think our original intent was to smoke it out of clay pipes.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we just
But
kept, I kept breaking them or losing them, or Something kept getting in my way for the clay pipe, so I just ended up going full briar. But it doesn't matter since I usually have a blend per briar.
Oh
I can
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of, you know, I've got a
yeah,
Lakeland briar, I've got a vapor briar, I got a Virginia briar, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, and shoot, I smoke everything and everything now.
Oh, and
and
I think we discussed it. To outside of Lakeland, I don't think it makes too much of a difference, really.
no, well, and I've always said, at least right now, in where I'm at, I wouldn't be able to pick up on any ghosting anyway. I can hardly pick up on the nuances between blends to pick up ghosting.
I think
So
you're being a little you're being a little disingenuous, but like I mean you are like you picked up on stuff. I mean your filler episodes are good.
well, it is what it is. I do what I can. I do know that the Lakeland Vapor, we got through with those. We just wrapped those up, and those are pretty hard to pick out. What was different about each one.
It
Uh,
is,
well,
and
Stonehenge was easy, but that's about it.
I mean
Because
I
the
think that
Burley.
yeah, and the only thing I look back on is like maybe we should have gotten Louisiana Flake,
Yeah, I saw
and
somebody comment today about that.
they
Somebody
said
was.
I had a touch of Burley, but I mean I smoked it. I remember it being pretty similar to St. James Flake, and
Mhm.
that's it's sort of like that's my story and I'm sticking to it kind of thing. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
but I mean, for the filler to be, I would say rounded, complete, you really do need to get Louisiana Flake in there. But trying to get a hold of Louisiana Flake is definitely not the easiest thing to do. Whenever you want something that's like specific like that,
yeah.
gosh, man, you better just have it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's true. I mean, like, we usually we have a tendency to track down things that are new coming out, things that are relatively readily available, or what I call things that are in the vault that I've just acquired.
oh yeah, yeah. Like the
Not
Peterson 3Ps.
right,
That was like a vault kind of thing.
right, and like I know that we discussed next season getting because we've done a lot of peas, you
Yeah,
know, and I think we've done quite a bit of Gawith. Um,
yeah,
and so I think there's going to be I don't know how you would call them. Like, I guess they technically couldn't be fillers, but there's going to be some revisits or something like that where
yeah.
we do sort of like, um, filler presents double review or something like that. Or something
Oh yeah,
where it's just a review of these things that we've smoked that we really haven't had an opportunity to sort of solely focus in on them and kind of because I do like that filler um, presentation,
yeah,
that we
yeah,
it makes it easier to kind of focus just into the tobacco. So I think there's going to be some esoteric kind of stuff coming out.
yeah. And I would like to. There are a lot of blends that I would like to review. That we've had, and I'm glad you sort of brought that up. I think there's some, like, as far as projections, some ideas we've been tossing around. I know I had wanted to do like a new to bracketology, and it just be between the all the Captain Earl blends. So I mean that might be something we look into, and then maybe do like a plum pudding playoff kind of thing.
Well, those will all be good. I actually think that next season there'll be there'll be an idea that I had, I guess, because we're sort of doing a roundup sort of projection thing on this episode. So you guys are going to hear a little bit of what I would like to, or what Patrick would like to plan to do. But I would like it where when you do like the Captain Earl, right?
Mm.
Uh, do a filler episode Monday through Friday.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like have 5 episodes recorded and do like a week release. Still get your regular Friday episodes, but then like when we're doing like a crazy one,
Mm-hmm.
Where there's like 5, 6 tobaccos, you just do a spanner.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that would be. I would like that because I mean, there's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason why we only do one episode a week. It's just
I mean,
it's sort of just
it is convenient.
yeah, it's the nature of our schedule, really. It that allows us to meet on a semi-regular basis and still have a lot of content to mess with.
Because I think it's been brought up before, but like when you and I meet, we hang out for 4 or 5 hours. And in 4 or 5 hours, you can smoke what would be equivalent of a clay pipe's worth, like
Hmm.
3, 4 different tobaccos,
Hmm.
maybe, and not burn yourself out. Um, if you're kind of like pacing yourself, having a little bit of water or something to sort of kill the flavors in between, you can do a couple of different reviews if you want to. If you are have the luxury of being the last review, you don't even have to smoke it. You can smoke it during the week and then just sort of re-review it. I usually take notes since I've been the last review quite a few times. So I just
Yeah,
sort of take notes and then smoke whatever I want day of.
yeah,
But I haven't smoked a lot of Captain Earls, so it would be a lot of like if we're both, it might be just a different format, like a filler
yeah,
presents or something like that.
yeah, yeah. I would think so too. And 'cause I think what, you've had Honor Blend.
Honorable's good. You've had it too, right?
No, you just brought it out when we compared it to Windjammer, but I don't think I
It
smoked it.
reminds me a lot of Windjammer.
Well,
I think it might be, it'd be kind of fun to just smoke both of them and then do its own review, just so I can do like the
yeah.
Windjammer comparison on the Captain Earl Honor Blend.
And then maybe even if you want to bring in Handsome Flake too, because Handsome Flake had a Windjammer vibe to it. Was it Handsome? No, or was it Stonehenge?
You said Stonehenge?
Was it Stonehenge? Yeah,
See, I think that Windjammer and Captain Earls are sweet, and I don't find Stonehenge and Handsome Flake overly sweet. I mean, like
yeah,
overly sweet. I mean,
yeah,
these are really like it's really sweet.
yeah. And I think yeah, and now that my memory serves me, it wouldn't work because I was sort of comparing that my first smoke of Stonehenge reminded me of my first smoke of Windjammer, which when I first smoked Windjammer, I didn't pick any sweetness out. It was all Perique up front. But since I've been smoking Windjammer, it's been a lot less peppery and a lot more sweet.
And that's the convenience of like kind of like having those like all those blends back to back to back and just different things is that you get to kind of remember when you first smoked this one thing and then compare it, but then like you get a little bit of distance on it and you can go back and adjust it because I don't think anything's always going to be set in stone. I could be wrong about that. I mean, I'm pretty set in stone about a couple of things, but like, I mean, if you think about it, like tonight, for whatever reason, I'm smoking a cherry blend.
Oh wow.
I very rarely do that, but I'm smoking Dark Fire Cherry by Ken Byron Ventures, and I just wanted it. I just went hunted it down and got it, which is strange for me. Not that there's anything wrong with cherry. I think Galwith and Hogarth's cherry cream is excellent. Like, but I don't want it usually. It's like I smoked a bunch of it, and I just don't. I'm not interested. As
Yeah.
interested, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um,
But I
but
think that dark fire cherry actually does have that cream cherry from Galwith. I believe he blends with Galwith and Hogarth.
oh, you think so? It. I know we've talked about it before. We've sort of pondered where does he get his tobacco from?
I think the some of the cherries he gets, uh, I think he gets from Galwith and Hogarth. I mean,
I
I've
haven't
been
had.
wrong before, but I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can only go on your assumptions, and your past experience, and I'm sure your past experience, is probably pretty good. I mean, at
it's,
least a pretty good assumptions.
Well, this is a good smoke. I mean, like this is like um, I'll tell you how good it is. Is like actually, I have a Christmas tea. I say I have it. I mean, I probably drank it all, but like there's a Christmas tea that's cherry blend that I drink usually in December. I'm pretty sure it's all gone now. That a local tea blending house makes, and it tastes just like that tea. That's pretty. That's pretty similar to cherry if it's the same flavor as the tea.
Oh wow. Hmm.
But this is a great like. I mean, this is like what I call my Santa Claus pipe tobacco.
Oh, okay. I haven't had any Ken Byron in a while because I sort of jarred up um, Zombie English, Goblin Mixture, and uh, Patience of Dr. Silence, and I sort of put them away. I was able to
Wow.
procure another bag of Dr. Silence, so that I
We
was
should do
lucky.
a filler episode on that because we've only ever just talked about it on the
Oh, which one?
Patients of Dr. Silence.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We did a normal like a PipeCast recording of it, but we haven't done a filler.
Kim Byron, he's still the man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, I sort of I'm upset, not upset, but I'm saddened that our only filler with Ken Byron is one that I'm not that fond of.
Yeah, it was Goblin Mixture, but it's not really fair because most of the stuff we weren't starting the filler episodes when we were actually doing more Ken Byron talks.
Yeah, exactly. Because we did Verge Engine Overdrive and
Hmm.
then Patience
which
of
is
Dr. Silence.
which is incredible.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I haven't had the regular Verge Engine. I've only had Overdrive.
Virgin and Overdrive is amazing and up there with some of the best vapors you can get. And then, of course, Patients of Dr. Silence. I'm sitting on quite a few bags. I won't even open them
Oh yeah.
because I'm so particular about that. I like it so much. It's like it stinks that like normally I'm not like you'll probably laugh at this, but normally I'm not a hoarder. I smoke. I just smoke. He's laughing because there's a lot of tobacco in the house, but like I'm not so precious with it that I won't open it.
Like how many millions of dollars would it be if your house caught on fire? How much millions of dollars would it be just in tobacco?
Oh god, that'd be a bad day.
That would be a bad day.
When my daughter was born, I kept wondering if I was going to grab the tobacco or her first. No, I'm kidding. If the house is on fire, like which room do you go in? Do you go into the vault and be like, you know,
Where do I go first?
you know?
um, no,
It's funny. There's so like you 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 obviously joke because I mean I clearly would go for the tobacco first. So I don't even know what. So I couldn't let that go. I had to just keep coming back to that.
season 4, there's going to be a lot of background action happening. You thought season 3 there was a lot of background action, um, but no, season 4 is going to be pretty heavy because we'll probably come back around September. That's when around September. That's when you'll start seeing um, content from us again.
Well, Patrick was hiding it a little bit, and I'm just gonna hold him to it.
Yeah.
But we're actually zooming right now.
What?
We're not in the same room. And it's a good thing because this is going to allow us, I think, more content building, and it's going to allow us the
Oh
ability
yeah.
to do, I think, some collaboration with some people over the internet, which is what
Oh yeah.
I would like to reach out to a couple people and just be like, hey, you'd like to, maybe give us 10 minutes of your time, just do like a crossover,
Yeah.
what you think about the community or some other stuff like that. I don't, it's hard because there's like a whole scheduling aspect to it. And to be
Yeah.
honest with
Yeah.
you, uh, Patrick and I just sort of got into scheduling our own lives. So it should be interesting to try to schedule in another YouTuber or somebody that would be interested in talking to us.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I would also like to take suggestions on what people would like to see reviewed.
yeah. That would be a nice thing too. Is to yeah, take suggestions. But like there's several people that I watch, like live stream people, and it's you're talking sometimes six, sometimes upwards of 10 people, and I guess they figure out how to get it scheduled. I guess we can try.
Yeah, you just have to you real like when you're. I assuming when you're doing it, you really have to hold yourself to that time.
Yeah, exactly. I know I've there's a couple that I catch throughout the week that have like a noon uh, start time, and sometimes it's like 20 after, and they're still not on. But it's just one of those things. So even some people miss their own schedules. But
Well, I think as much as everyone would like to be a full time pipe smoker as a career, I'm sure that's pretty difficult. I don't think that. I mean, even if you're even outside of having a shop, it's probably difficult.
yeah, exactly. And even more transparency, I'm not even smoking in this episode. So,
I was going to say that.
uh,
I was going to say I wasn't going to do that to you.
I did it to myself.
Yeah.
Because
Cancel. Get on Twitter. Cancel.
cancel, yeah, cancel culture coming after me.
Cancel him on the PipeCast.
Uh,
Yeah, well, it's called PipeCast, but hey, he's got a pipe in his hand though.
oh yeah, I got one right here. I got old Chody boy right here. But
Mhm.
no, to be able to record, I have to be in the house, and yeah, you'd be wrong if you think I could smoke in this house.
Hey man, Mama lays down the law. Mama lays down the law in my house. There's
Yeah,
a universal Mama, and you don't cross her.
no, you don't.
I mean, it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that technology is where it's at because being able to record will make this a lot easier. And there are things that we want to explore, and do on YouTube that isn't going to be necessarily tobacco related, but it will be pipe related. We just haven't figured out a mechanism of getting
Yeah,
that going.
yeah.
Patrick probably wouldn't like this. I'm gonna say it anyway, but like if I was ever in a film industry scenario, I definitely would want Patrick as a producer. That's not, and that sounds so like backhanded because it was like, oh, you don't want him as a writer. He's a talented writer and he has good direction. But he's meticulous and scheduled, which is something I'm definitely not. And when you have someone like that who has those characteristics, they're creative and they can manage like time, money, etc. And that's who you want. Um, I don't think I've ever mentioned it before, but Patrick and I used to. I mean, I know I've mentioned we worked together, but Patrick was my right hand in terms of he really did the lion's share of making sure that the scheduling for production was kind of underway, so I could handle people. It was it worked out really well. It sounds like he got the raw deal, and I tried my hardest to like ask him. I was like, "You sure you're all right with this?" And he always seemed okay with it. Like you can go back on it now, But you always seemed fine at the time that you didn't think you were getting the raw deal.
I mean, I enjoyed everything that I did for you. Uh, but then you left me, and so then it was just like,
There it is. Well, the real culprit has never been on the show, but he's a mutual friend of ours, and he sort of dominoed the exodus in a way.
oh yeah, yeah. You talking about banjo?
No, I'm talking about old bourbon.
Urban.
Oh, Cristiano.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hey, there's some more projections for you. Maybe one day we'll venture into bourbon reviews or just whiskey in general. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's only the most expensive liquid on earth. Actually, it kind of brings up a good point. I had I actually had a conversation with my wife. This is, well, I'll tell you how it spurred on, but so I got a couple of emails recently. I've been buying some equipment for the house to do woodworking and just general, sometimes you just need equipment just if you're updating the house or you have future plans and things like that. You buy things. Some of it was, is geared towards working on pipe and pipe related things, pipes and pipe related things. And some of it's just like, it'd be nice to make a stool or something, just something to do, right? This is before lumber went just crazy through the roof. But I'd ordered some stuff, right? And I received a couple of emails recently from manufacturers. This does have a point, I promise. I'm going to circle back to the point. And they're saying that large equipment, because of the cost of steel and copper going up significantly and the cost of transportation, like basically anything like washers, dryers, table saws, everything is about to go up like 20-30% in cost, maybe more, just based on, cost of steel, copper, transportation or shipping, costs and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because like we had planned all this woodworking stuff for like DIY pipe stands and things like that, and it's just like overnight, like I was saying, get back to the lumber, everything just went through the roof. And now Patrick and I are trying to figure out how we can do the same stuff but using like sort of reusable wood, like crates and stuff. And it's actually threw a wrench into some of our plans for the summer, just because of exorbitant pricing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, hopefully, hopefully it won't last that long. Maybe we'll get back to some kind of normalness, I guess, with
Well, I think everything's
prices.
good. And like I said, like, I'm not telling people to go out and buy stuff tomorrow or something like that. I'm just saying, like, it is strange that like there's a short supply on a run on stuff, like in short, everything's in short supply, and it's making things costly. It sort of stretches the ability of content, I think, a little bit. Because I mean, you and I don't ask for money, and I don't think we ever will. I don't even think we say like and subscribe on our YouTube video. I just think that's so annoying. You guys are just here. I'm already surprised that you're here to listen to us.
Exactly.
But it's nice, but like, I think 90% of what we do is just because Patrick and I enjoy hanging out. And if you guys enjoy, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree more. It's just it's just we're hanging out, and if you want to join us, do it. Um,
Sorry, man, I'm
but
probably gonna have to get more of this stuff. Sorry, I keep smoking and I keep enjoying it. But it's sad because it kind of keeps reminding me of Christmas, and I'm more interested in Halloween. But I noticed that there isn't really a Halloween blend.
uh, yeah, yeah. As far as like, there's no blend. Like, people point to like Sleepy Hollow, but like, there's no blend that invokes Halloween. I guess like that makes you think of Halloween.
The closest thing to it for me is Temple Bar and Regent's Flake.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say that because you say that they're like a fall blend
They're
or
like
like
a fall
fall,
blend.
but
But there's nothing that, and there's nothing, there isn't, and I know people are going to say Sleepy Hollow, and I know people might say Thanksgiving Day and stuff, but those aromatics or they just aren't the way. Sorry, they just aren't the way I like my aromatics. Bless me.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Bless you. No, you're right. It would be nice if somebody could make a Halloween type blend. Um, something that, like you said before, I think you mentioned this before. If you could just take Regis Flake or Temple Bar and put some kind of caramel on it,
Mhm.
that would help out a lot.
Well, and we definitely have this like caramel apple overtones, and I don't even like caramel apples, but holy crap, when fall comes around, I want one.
Oh yeah. I I'm like a smell kind of person. So like around this time of the year, April and May, I really want like I want like hand soaps and candles around the house that are honeysuckle. Like honeysuckle is just the smell of spring for me, or spring into summer. And like and then fall into winter, I want like, your um what is it? It's like your pumpkin vanilla crap and uh all that kind of stuff. Like there's a certain smell, cinnamon, all that business. And then of course, by the time you get to Christmas, which is fall leading into winter, you got to have some like oranges and cinnamon. It's, I don't know what it is, but fresh or the smell of orange rind makes me think of Christmas. I guess because we always used to get boxes of oranges for Christmas, or that somebody was
Um,
selling them.
yeah, I don't. It's weird because I know people like cinnamon in the fall. I don't like it in the fall. I like it. It's my Christmas smell. I always thought it was
Yeah.
more of a Christmas smell, and I agree 100%. Anything with cinnamon and citrus does evoke
Mhm.
Christmas, and the reason it does for me is because of mulled wine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Only drink mulled wine during the like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and uh, it's orange, cinnamon, clove, heavy spices,
Mhm.
any type of heavy spice. My wife has like a warming spice perfume, and I like it only in the winter.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's like I like those kind of more robust things. The sad thing is like you could almost say that the fall season is really for me like October 25th to December 25th, and then after that it's
Yeah.
just misery up until spring. And then even
Yeah.
that, I'm sort of miserable because I'm always allergic to everything. Like that's those 3 months, because I'm credited as being like an October junkie, and I love
Mhm.
Halloween, I love horror, and I love horror movies and things like that. But I definitely like October through December. I think
Yeah.
that transition is really fun. What's miserable is January 2nd through May 31st. Where
Yeah.
it's like there's nothing to look forward to.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree about. I've sort of said that a lot. Like, or I've said that in the past. Is that the only good part of winter? Is like the first 10 days. Um, basically till you get to New Year's, and then you know everything else of after that is just not good. And I'm a person who loves like gray overcast days. Uh, see, so so I'll give you a little background. I think I probably said this to you the other day, but like the perfect day for me is you wake up and it's raining, and then basically it rains until 3:30 p.m. Because if it's pretty outside, I don't want it to look that way if I have to be stuck inside working. And I'm talking about a work week, weekend, or a work day. Weekend days are different. But basically, I want to wake up. It's raining, rain all the way to 3:30 p.m. and then sunshine be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen because everything looks so much more saturated, right? If it's sunny right after a rain, well, it looks great. Um, and then around I don't know 10 o'clock start raining again. So I like rain. I like gray. It doesn't bother me. I probably would survive Seattle
See,
and
I'm like
places
dead
like that.
opposite. I'm like me and rain go together like a 55-year-old dad in a new movie or a speed addict behind a speeding wheel of a car. Like I'm gonna be knocked out in 2 seconds if it's raining. I'm just gonna fall asleep.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like there ain't nothing more sleep based
Oh,
than rain. So like I don't want to. If I hear rain, I'll be
yeah.
asleep at my desk.
God, see, I love that. Well, I don't. I'm not that sleep prone to it, but I love that though. I love that feeling. I think it stems from when I was a kid and it was a stormy day and you were at school and outside looked really dark and inside was like you had that weird fluorescent look to it um, because it was so overcast outside. And then if you got lucky, it'd be a good enough storm, the power would go out and the lights would go off and you couldn't work. And I longed for those days. Those days were awesome. So when I'm working and it's stormy outside and I have to cut a lamp on in the middle of the day, I'm like it's just nostalgic, I guess. And I love that. But I said all that to say that yes, after Christmas and after New Year's Eve, the winter is just awful. Even for me as a person who likes overcast and gray, it's not fun. And then I start getting antsy around March when you start getting a little bit of warmth. But I will say it's funny I say that, but from basically around Christmas week through I don't know, March 15th, St. Patrick's Day. I'm like a smokeaholic. That's my pipe smoking time of the year. Like that's when I'm like every day, pretty much every day. I'm dedicating it to it. But outside of that window, I'm just it's like a once a week, twice a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. It just doesn't happen. So I guess it's I'm looking for something I like inside of a bunch of crap.
I do think that winter is the perfect time to smoke. The problem is there's a lot of problems with the South. Okay,
Mm.
one is our winter is not. There's no snow, and I can tell you something I've noticed. Now, I'm not saying that the South is colder than the North, but there's something evil about a Southern winter because there's no wind in the summer. But in the wintertime, when it's like 20 degrees, 15 degrees, the wind will cut through you like a hot knife through butter. I mean, and it's nonstop. There's no escaping from it.
Yeah.
And it's not like, you can bundle up and as long as you're warm, you're fine. No, I mean, it's just like bundle up and fight the wind, and smoking's a nightmare. And it's god awful. And then another thing about uh, Alabama winter, that you guys probably aren't used to. So I live 35, 40-minute drive away from Eastern time zone, which means I'm on the tail end or the beginning of Central time zone. Patrick is too, but like we're right there. Like where Central picks up, we're there. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means that nighttime in the winter, December, you know, area, you're looking at like a 4 o'clock sundown,
Oh yeah.
which is miserable.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, personally, and I guess I got some clout. I'm a geographer by trade, but like, I think that the Central Time Zone should start on the west side of the Mississippi River and give me an extra hour of daylight.
I, I'm trying to think. Well,
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 think about it. If it's on the west side of the Mississippi, right, that means from the Mississippi to El Paso is central. I mean,
yeah.
holy crap. I mean, like, you ever done that drive? Like, when you get
Oh
across
yeah.
the Mississippi heading towards El Paso, like, it's a freaking nightmare. That's a
Oh
long
yeah.
drive,
I mean, you
But
got
the
little.
Mississippi River from my house is only a couple hours.
Yeah. The only issue I have is I don't want to be in the Eastern time zone for most of the time, like outside of daylight savings time, because their stuff just goes way too late. I don't even like being in Central. I'd rather be in Mountain because, like, if you want to stay up late for like a ball game, because if they start a ball game like to accommodate for the Pacific time, Central and Eastern, you're up till midnight or later to see the end of that ball game, and it's annoying.
I get
Now,
what you're
granted,
saying. I mean,
I
and
didn't mind.
I mean, I'm guessing that sucks if you're an athlete or a sports fan, but like, I'm more of a I don't want to be depressed during winter fan.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'd rather have the daylight, to be honest.
I mean, you could just get rid of daylight savings time, and that would solve that.
Not really, though. Think about it.
Why?
Well,
It depends on which way you get rid of it.
I guess you're
Either you,
right, but I mean, you're still out of zone, and that's just aggravating. You're still in a
yeah,
zone.
Yeah.
and we're at the beginning of a zone that really shouldn't start till the Mississippi River. I mean, I would love it if like I was Eastern and then they got rid of it because that means, daylight would be nice. Like we'd have more daylight,
Yeah.
during the winter at least. I mean, think about it. Because I know for a fact the sun goes down at 4 o'clock in December. So if it
Yeah. Oh
went down
yeah.
at
It does.
5, that would be more reasonable, right? And I don't mind like
Yeah.
it being dark at 6 o'clock. But I mean, geez, 4 o'clock, you get
Yeah.
home, you go to work and it's dark, and you leave and it's dark. That sucks.
Yeah. See, yeah. Now, when I was a kid, I liked the winter because I would see. So let's say it's summertime and you get home, and I wanted to go upstairs and like play a video game or watch a movie or something, and it gets dark. In the summer, it gets dark at night. Like there's about a week, 2 week time period where it's still sunlight at 9 o'clock. And
Hmm.
so when it got dark, I was like, well, it's bedtime now. And it's sort of like a depressing thing. Like I don't want to go to bed. I want to keep doing. And so I just remember several times when that transition happens over into winter, when it started getting dark at like 4, get home from school, I'd be playing a game and I'd look out and see how dark it was. I'm like, oh, it's time to go to bed. And then I'd look down and it's only 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh baby, I got 2 more hours. So like I'm nostalgic of those feelings. But yeah, as an adult, it's trash. I'd rather it be sunlight till, in a perfect world, if it was sunlight till about 8 every like all day or all year long, that'd be great.
Right.
Because
And I know that people complain about that. They're like, well, like, people who kind of get out or bar hop and stuff like that. I'm like, but you get, I mean, like, when we did that when we were young, I
mhm.
didn't even go to that many bars, but when I went to house parties and stuff like that, it was 9 o'clock when we started,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
What? Yeah, when I was going, like we'd go to a house party at 9, and then everybody would go to the bar at 11 or 12. Uh,
So I'm just like, what are these kids that getting out at like 7 o'clock? Like, what are you, like 45? Like, I thought you were
exactly.
20-year-olds, you know?
Now, granted, I will say there is one day a year where if it got dark at 4, I'd be okay, and that's Halloween. On if Halloween night, if it was dark at 4, I'd be okay with it.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to maximize your time in the dark on Halloween.
Yeah, but also, like, I mean, I think Halloween is, I mean, Halloween has changed a lot since we were kids too,
Yeah.
for a
Well, and
lot.
I was gonna say I'll take that back. I do enjoy that just before dark look of Halloween, like that, the golden hour on Halloween night is actually a lot of fun. Maybe it's just because all the Halloween movies I've watched, all the Michael Myers movies, there's always a little bit of time in those movies where they capture that moment right before it gets dark, and I really like those moments. But yeah, Halloween has changed a lot.
I mean, if it were me, I mean, I would make Halloween and November 1st a holiday, just so you wouldn't have to be at work or school or whatever. It does seem like an endless night too, which is fun in the moment. It sucks when you wake up and you're like, golly,
Yeah,
it's over.
yeah, it sort of does. It sort of does suck. I mean, because it's a special night. Now, granted, the last few years, um, you know, post college, Halloween night has definitely uh, lost a lot of its not grandeur, but uh, and not excitement, but um, hustle. There's not as much. I don't have as much on my plate. A lot like there's not a lot that I've marked down on the calendar to do. As
Well, when
compared
you're a
to
grown man and you can buy your own candy, you don't have to hustle anymore.
exactly. But like there's no parties that I'm going to. It's just I'm
Well, I
gonna
think, I've noticed that everyone's settling into children. I mean,
yeah
like I mean, my wife and I are talking about family costume this year, which is fun. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a family costume, and now it's going to be kid oriented, and then
yeah
eventually, you know, it'll change, I'm sure, to something else, and then eventually, I feel
yeah
like you sort of like do the kid thing, and then like eventually kind of evolve back into doing your own thing. But I think this is that period in time where you're sort of kid focused.
Yeah. Which I've heard people. I don't necessarily. I mean, it's not that I don't agree with them, but I don't agree with like where they're coming from. But I've heard people talk about, I guess, sort of talking down to people who like Halloween. Talk about how the adults, it's a holiday for kids, I guess, or it became a holiday for kids, and those kids grew up and they've sort of taken it with them, sort of like what people, sort of like comic books, right? Kids, they were originally with kids, and then they grew up with the people who was reading them. A lot of people talk about that with Harry Potter. Harry Potter was a young adult thing, but it sort of grew with the reader, kind of. So, but I mean, it definitely is different. Halloween's different if you're a kid than when you're an adult, a little bit. But I think there's enough room for Halloween to be a kid thing and a adult thing too. But
I mean, I would definitely agree. I think it is interesting how Halloween sort of blossomed a lot. I think in the late '80s, early '90s, like it became its own sort of entity,
hmm
and then it sort of died off. But then the people who had the Halloween specials on television and like who really did the '90s trick or treating. I mean, I think
oh yeah,
they definitely drug it with them, and that's what we're at now. I mean, we're '90s kids, so that's where that love comes from.
yeah, I love. I ate up every one of the Home Improvement Halloween specials. They were a lot of fun, and then that's one of the reasons why me and Ann. Well, this isn't the reason why me and Ann, but me and Ann both love Brooklyn Nine-Nine as a TV show,
Mhm.
and they sort of carry on that spirit that they always do a pretty good Halloween special. It's a lot of fun. Um, yeah, I love Halloween. Anytime TVs do TV specials or TV sitcoms or anything like that do Halloween specials, it really warms my heart.
Seems like they used to care a lot more.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, those Home Improvement ones, like he was going, Tim Allen was going all out in those, making up haunted houses and whatnot that he would do. I mean, he would do that with Christmas stuff too. He'd go all out on Christmas crap, but his Halloween ones just seem so much more fun. And I mean, there's other sitcoms that did it. I just the Home Improvement ones are the ones that sort of stand out in my mind
Well,
as
Christmas always had the heartwarming like uh theme. It's
yeah,
not bad. It's just like, there's usually like a family that needs to be mended, or someone who doesn't have a family and needs to be brought into a family, or some morality tale. Christmas always has like a kind of a conjoined morality tale. While Halloween is just like scary and candy
it's
and
fun.
and fun. And I don't. There's not a lot of like. There's not a lot of moral things that you can derive from Halloween, and I think that's what I think that sort of. It's not that it's bad or good. It just is. I guess it's less thoughtful because you're just like, I like being scared and I like sweets. So let's
Yeah,
do
it
this.
yeah, it's sort of like sometimes you're in the mood for a pretty heavy, a pretty pretty deep story or movie. Like I don't know, uh, Scorsese film or something like that. Like you look for something with some meat on it. But then sometimes you just want a popcorn flick, and Halloween's the popcorn flick of holidays. It's just
Well, I mean, like,
enjoyable.
yeah, I mean, I've never, I mean, like, I mean, there's some fine lines and some definitions, but like, you got to be careful with. But like,
Mm.
I've never cried in a horror movie or wanted to. But there's like
Yeah.
a billion holiday movies that are trying to be tearjerkers and
Oh
always
yeah.
hit the mark. But like, I tell you this, like, there's a real world event where it's a Santa Claus talking about a situation. Like he's a cosplaying Santa Claus. Santa Claus, I don't know what to tell you. Like it's like the ultimate cosplayer. Like the original granddaddy of cosplaying is a Santa Claus dude. But anyway, it's a Santa Claus impersonator. I mean, I guess he looks just like Santa Claus. He's just Santa Claus to me. But he's on YouTube and he tells a story about like a Make a Wish situation, and it's awful. But you don't get like some pumpkin dude talking about that kind of stuff. Michael Myers isn't like, yeah, I visited a kid and I didn't say anything the whole time, and then I stabbed him. You don't get any of that. You'll get that with the Christmas stuff, like and it's not like it's not bad. It's just like I think that there's some emotion, some gravitas, some sort of pathos or something that's kind of along with Christmas in particular.
Yeah.
That can be a little bit more gut wrenching.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in terms of like when you're watching it on a sitcom or a writing, they always seem like they get kind of serious. It always pays off, but I mean, it's usually like, and goodwill towards men. That's your ending,
Yeah. 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 So yeah, there definitely is a difference, but those Halloween ones definitely were something. And there's like I said, there's some modern shows that can do it decently well, but there's not a lot of television I watch anyway. So if there's other people doing it well, I don't know who they are.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I don't really. I'm at the end of this bowl here.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
else you want to mention?
No. So this definitely was a more rambly little episode for you to wrap up season 3. Like I said, be on the lookout around maybe a week out of 4th of July. We'll have a little something special going on there,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, this is this is really just a in a way, I again, it's always about having fun with Zach, but I want to thank y'all for listening, y'all. It still boggles the mind that people are listening to us. So
Mm-hmm.
we thank you for it.
Yeah, we enjoy it. Sometimes like when you have all this stuff scheduled, you just sort of make a little kind of a like you said, like an end wrap up, like and just sort of a play on everything that's going on. So, or what has been going on, and this is kind of that episode where didn't really want to talk too much about tobacco, just sort of wrapping. I mean, you guys have gotten a lot of filler if you're watching that on YouTube, and you've gotten a lot of these episodes where we're super tobacco specific. So it just stands to reason that we probably do our like kind of wrap up, just mention what we smoke, what our plans are for smoking in the future, and just kind of celebrating you guys listening to us, and then just celebrating the PipeCast itself.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, yeah, again, we hope you enjoyed this season. I know we enjoyed making it, so we can't wait
It's definitely
till the summer's over.
definitely our most consistent season. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I think we sort of found our footing, and that's helped a lot.
so more to come. But like I said, thank you guys.
Yeah, yeah. So, we'll see y'all. We'll see you in July.
All right. See y'all then.